Attention passengers, this is SNY's Keith Hernandez, and this is a Queens-bound 7 way to Citi Field to see your Metsies.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the 7 Express podcast.
And imagine Brandon Nimmo, a heavy heart all weekend. He's heading to the National League Championship Series for the first time.
Yes, that is the last image. Not last image, but that is one of the best images of Brandon Nimmo in a Met uniform that I can remember since he's been a Met. I mean, he's had so many moments as a New York Met, and all I can say is thank you, Brandon Nimmo. But we start off the show with a shocking trade. Brandon Nimmo is sent to the Texas Rangers for second baseman Marcus Semien. Fellas, before I get your thoughts on the trade, how you doing? Missed y'all. Good to be back on the show. How we feeling?
Yeah, we're good. Another week. Finally, something happened. Not what we expected, but something happened.
Right. AP, how we feeling? AP? Hey, I don't like AP's face.
He's speechless.
I'm not. Look, I'm not mad that Nimmo got traded. I don't really give a damn, to be honest with you. I'm not one of these. Oh no, Nimmo. I actually am like, all right, Nimmo's gone. Goodbye. Like what do you say? Like, I mean, look, the guy was a nice guy. He's an outfielder that can't really run anymore, except if he's running to first base off a walk. He has plantar fasciitis. We were going to have 5 years of that. We know the guy has no arm, and he hasn't really been consistent. Now, if you look at the trade that was made, and you sit there and was like, oh, my God, we got Marcus Semien for Nimmo. Yeah, one part of – and you heard everybody talk about this to nauseum at this point. I know, like, Evan Roberts talked about it on the Rico podcast, and he brought up the point of, like, the offense is gonna we're making a trade for an offensively more challenged player, which he's right. I mean, Nimmo offensively is better than Semien, but I don't think the trade was in that dynamic. I think that they wanted to upgrade their defense, which Stearns has been talking about forever, and I think that if you look at it in just the parameters of upgrading defense at second base, I think that they did that. Anybody that saw what second base looked like last year, other than Acuna, that was a big problem. And Acuna, to me, I don't think he's a everyday second baseman, and I don't really know if he ever will be. Now that opens a hole in left, but I think if you want to improve your defense there's a couple avenues to go. My biggest concern after listening to the Stearns presser today is that he's going to open this up for possibly a call-up. And I'm sorry, if we traded Nimmo to bring up a kid from AAA and expect him to do something right away, I think that's a big mistake.
Well, I mean, let's kind of refresh everybody's mind on how all this started. So, Jeff Passan put out an article that I didn't even know about until MLB Underdog posted the excerpt of his article, and basically it was a list of players from the New York Mets that the Mets are willing to trade, and I will share my screen to kind of show you guys that post right here. So you have it right here. This was posted on November 18th. It says Mets available for trade per Jeff Passan, Kodai Senga, Brandon Nimmo, Brett Beatty, Mark Vientos, Luis Angel Acuna, and Jeff McNeil. Now, of course, it was a shocker because one, it came out of nowhere, and two, it came from Passan, where we know Passan could be very, Passan is basically the top guy, right? He's the top guy when it comes to reporting for the MLB. But it also became a shocker because of the fact that the New York Mets really don't leak stuff like that. They're very secure on the stuff that they want out there. So, for Jeff Passan, who's really trusted to get this information, I automatically knew that, listen, if it's Passan reporting it, I'm It's the, it's true. It's 100% fact. Then comes a couple days later, or a week or so, however you want to call it, right? There's an article, well, not an article, it's an interview by former reliever Adam Ottavino, where Adam Ottavino basically says some things. Chris will be back. Chris is having some technical difficulties with internet. But AP, while Chris comes back, Adam Ottavino comes out, basically says some interesting comments. Now I will put that on the screen to show you guys what was said here, because that again is very interesting. I know people have their opinions on Adam Ottavino after what he said, but I will read you a little bit of what he said. Adam Ottavino on Brandon Nimmo. Brandon got pissed when Andy Martino did a Yankee Mets team and he had Alex Verdugo above him. I also don't think he liked any of the talk about Lindor being captain. Again, that Verdugo thing is whatever. This right here is what got people talking in Mets land, right? So that already had people like, what? Like Brandon Nimmo? Like out of all people, Brandon Nimmo, a clubhouse guy, everybody loves this dude. He's super positive. Nobody could say anything negative about Brandon Nimmo. So for that to come out, and it's a former Met player, former reliever, who also said things about Carlos Mendoza, right? That we've kind of preached about Mendoza having issues with the bullpen and him overusing guys. He put that to the forefront, including this comment. So he says this, and then a couple days after that, the trade comes out where Brandon Nimmo gets traded to the Texas Rangers, and we get Marcus Semien. So it was a whole couple days of a lot of information where it's like now that this trade has happened, everything is coming to the forefront. If you guys have any comments on the Ottavino thing or the trade list itself, what's your guys' thoughts?
Right. I guess I'll go first. The Ottavino stuff, just because it's funny because it's coming from a player that was there, so you got to take you got to believe it to some capacity, but why not believe it? It's just not a coincidence at this point. Like all of a sudden this popped up, and then Memo was feeling certain way because of the captain stuff and everything. And remember, at the end of the day, out of all this, Memo still could have said no and stayed, and he had every right to, but he left. So that tells me that there was something there, whatever it was, whatever Ottavino had inside the clubhouse or whatever. And then the pitching stuff, it's a known thing in baseball. Pitchers get blown out in the bullpen because starters can't even go past 3 innings now. And some teams do it better than others, and the Mets handled it really bad. Like in 2024, he said that when he was there, Mets pitchers didn't really get hurt, and he was right. They didn't really get hurt in the bullpen. Well, when he wasn't there in 25, guess what? They all got hurt. Well, it was because there wasn't nobody there to say no. Like, and I get it. Most of the guys that got hurt, if you look at what they are, they're journeymen, guys that want to get paid, and they were not gonna say no because they want to get paid, and that's how it works. And unfortunately, it sucks, but yeah, I believe Ottavino had some insight, maybe not to a certain extent. Does he look like a crybaby and a whiner? Yes, he does. But guess what? He's looking out for his players because he's a union guy. He's a player. He played the game. Like you can't be mad for a guy that's looking out for his former teammates. Like it is what it is. Like people could get mad and call him up, whatever this and that. But at the end of the day, there was some truth to it, and apparently, it had some weight.
Hey, Pete.
Well, Andy Martino confirmed that exchange between him and Brandon Nimmo actually happened, and he said that ultimately they ended up having a conversation. To me, I think that's a little weird, to be honest with you. And even Ottavino was kind of like that. He was shocked that Brandon Nimmo got upset about not being put on all New York team. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but like they usually do like who would play left,
Yeah.
right, all the positions basically. If it was just one New York team between the Mets and the Yankees, and apparently Martino had put Verdugo over Nimmo, and Nimmo apparently got upset about that, and Ottavino saw that and it was a little weirded out. I gotta tell you, I mean, regardless if there's truth, if there's not truth, um, I think that Nimmo's tenure here was incomplete at best. And I was gonna mention this earlier on Twitter, but and maybe I'm wrong for this, I don't know, but I even Nimmo getting drafted by the New York Mets to me was a mistake. I thought the Mets should have drafted Jose Fernandez, and I don't know why they didn't. Like I thought that the Marlins picked him up after, and the Mets could have used him more than Nimmo, I believe, because if we would have had him on this team with those young pitchers at that time, who knows where the Mets would have been with that type of ace at that level of control. Could you imagine how the Mets would have been like right now? I mean, God rest the dead. I mean, he might still be alive if the Mets would have picked him up. So
I
we
was
honestly,
just heading there. I was just heading there.
I really do think that if the Mets would have picked him up, the Mets might have been in a better situation. And I think that look, I always thought about that because it's like, man, that was the pick. I never understood why they didn't, and like they tried to say, oh, because we have pitching, you can never have too much pitching, and you could see that right now with what the Mets have. So I felt like that was one of the things that kind of always stuck with me because I always felt he should have been picked over Nimmo. Nimmo for a long time was always injured. Nimmo nagging little injuries. If it wasn't his neck, it was something. And now with the plantar fasciitis, where he can't really run anymore and he's hobbling, he's never been a guy like, yeah, the last couple, like 2 or 3 years, he's played every day, but to what end? Like he could barely move. He never had a great arm. He was a decent player. I think that Met fans fall in love with players, and and then the minute that, like, I don't know if it's like we build them up too much. Like I never thought that Nimmo was the greatest player out there. Like I thought he was a scrappy player. I'm not upset that he's gone. I don't know. Like I don't have this attachment. I think after Jose Reyes left, to be honest with you, after Jose Reyes left, I kind of looked at it as like, yo, anybody could leave. So I don't have that like, oh my goodness. Honestly, on this team, like Stern said, anybody could and should leave. We just collapsed. That was an epic collapse. I don't know if people remember that. This team was like Cohen
The
lost
best
three
team in
hundred
baseball in
million
June.
dollars for a team that choked. So what are we holding on to anybody for? Now, if you're gonna sell, and I hope that Stearns is hearing the fan base, if you are planning to sell to the team that we're getting rid of players because you want to bring up AAA guys that are unproven in this market with the ticket sales going up and the expectations now through the roof, yo, I think he may have to go find a team like in Wisconsin where he could like manage a AAA team there or something. Because I don't think that's gonna work here.
Yeah, I'm. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think for Brandon Nimmo, when it comes to him, again, great clubhouse guy, somebody that is well respected within the organization. It's just when you look at a player like him, he's not a player that transcends the organization to where he's untouchable. And he's on a contract where we all thought wasn't going to be moved. So when he was put on that list, I was kind of taken back by it. I was like, Nimmo on that list? I mean, he has a no trade clause. Then when Heyman literally put that like 5 minutes after Passon reported the trade. Like literally after the trade came out, Heyman put Brandon Nimmo accepted the trade. I said, whoa, like that took me by surprise because this is a guy that in his press conference when he signed the extension said it felt if in and I quote, He said it feels good to put on this jersey. No, I'm never taking it off. So then it's like, like some of the stuff that comes out before the trade happens, where maybe he was upset about the captain thing, and maybe there's some behind the scenes, or maybe he just wasn't comfortable and just needed a fresh start. Who knows what it is? But
I mean,
like
Top,
Stern
one thing
said,
that I would say about that is I can't read too much into it either, because if somebody were to tell me, like, yo, we don't want you no more, like, we want to get rid of
Yeah,
you,
you'd be
would
like,
you
yo,
accept the trade? I can't be like, yo, it's something else. Like, it would make me feel mad uncomfortable if they told me at work, like, yo, we're trying to get rid of you. Like, how are you going to come in and be like, nah,
we
I
need you
want to
to please
stay.
accept
Like,
that
we need you
I
to
would
accept
please
getting
that.
out of here. Get your bags
hey,
and go. Like,
yeah,
I'm sorry, man. That
My
to
yeah,
whole
me,
two cents.
you know.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Once it's out there, you know you were gone. It was just a
yeah.
matter of, well, this is the way I read the trade. At the moment, and AP called me because I wasn't even paying attention. So shout out to AP. He broke the news to me. I'm over here minding my business. And he said, "Yo, you saw that trade?" I'm like, "What trade?" And when he told me,
I had a feeling
Memo,
that you didn't know what was going on.
he said
It was
Memo.
Sunday
I'm like,
afternoon. It was
okay.
mad random. Nobody thought
hmm
that was gonna happen. Who the hell was looking
When he
for a
told
Met
me
trade in the
Memo,
middle of November?
he
Right.
told me Memo. I'm thinking like, okay. And then when he told me Simeon, my jaw was like, I told right away, I don't like it. I don't like it. But that was just at the moment. It's not that I thought that I didn't want Memo trade. I wanted anybody to get traded. I didn't care. To be honest, I don't care if Lindor gets traded at this point because we haven't won anything. And that's my thing. I want to see You can't go out there like Stern said it. So people that read into Stearns and what he says in the press conference, and we'll get that to later. But a little snippet that he said that, oh, I knew we couldn't run the whole team back, and then you're gonna tell me that GM meetings all of a sudden you were talking to trading Memo. Like, no, that means that you had it from jump that you were gonna trade somebody. Like, and everybody's on the table. It was just who's gonna bite. That's all it was. And checks his bit, and it is what it is. But at the end of the day, I can't knock the trade because it benefits both teams at the moment. Like people shitting on the team. Yes, Simeon is declining. He's declining. Yes, with the bat, but his defense gonna get like the defense. What does this team do? Who we have as our fifth pitcher right now? Because we don't even have pitchers. But let's just say Clay Holmes, ground ball guy, right? That defense up the middle is gonna play big with Clay Holmes. So now if the Mets go by that philosophy, which I think they are gonna go by it, they're gonna put the best defense out there to get ground ball pitchers to have better success, and that's the best way you can think of it. If Stearns and this is a big if Stearns and Cohen go out of this and say we just freed up a spot because we got Carson Bench coming up, and that's it. Boy, that is a big fu to the fan base because not only did you raise the ticket price on a failing season on a choke job, not only did you do that, then you send out, I'm sorry, fans. After he told us to shut up and fan, Then he wants to send out a tweet and say, sorry, fans, we didn't live our end of the bargain. You guys showed up. Do you think fans are going to show up if you have a rookie at left field and a Taylor at center field? Nobody's going to show up. I know I'm not, and I live right here. So I'm telling you, bro.
Right here.
I'm telling you, I think it's a
be
big
smart about
mistake.
it.
It's a big mistake. It's a big mistake.
They better
Because
be
I
smart.
don't
They
think
better
that
be
you
smart
can.
about it.
You're not going to be able to compete that way. I just don't see how the Mets next year, if you're going to sell us that you got Benj out there with a hole in center field, with Simeon at second, Vientos and maybe Beatty playing the diamond, and that's the team you're going to win a championship with. We might as well skip baseball season next year and just go live our lives because that is not gonna win you. I don't think you win 75 games with that squad.
Well, let's look at Marcus
Which I don't
Semien's.
think is. Oh yeah, my fault.
But
Top.
well, no,
All I'm gonna
no,
say
no,
is
you're
that
good. You're good.
I don't think that's gonna happen. It's just that anything's on the table. Anything's a possibility right now. So I know there's people, fan base talking about, all the God, and I try to tell Met fans, but we just don't listen, bro. Like they want to shoot for the stars and the moon and the universe, and the problem is that Stearns does not shoot for the stars and the universe. You know what Stearns shoot for? Little grasshoppers. That's what he goes for. Little grasshoppers here, there. You know,
we gotta set the bar super low. The bar should
set
be
it low.
the most lowest you can possibly have it.
And it sucks because we shouldn't be setting the bar low, but that's where you have to set it low, because when you set it so high, any move that you do after any move that is not where you think it is, you're gonna be disappointed. Like this one, perfect example. Everybody was talking about Seager. Semien came about. What do y'all say? Oh, we don't like the trade because everybody wanted Seager. But the problem is, if you put your 2 senses in, Marcus Semien makes a better fit for the short term and long term. Seager he's signed for another 6 years, and he's 30-something mil.
To me, and just the Seager.
Do you think Davis is gonna pay another 30-something mil? I don't think so.
The Seager thing didn't make any sense to me, anyways, because you're talking about a guy who, okay, he's a solid defender, but I need people to understand moving from short to third is a big switch. He's not just gonna get third base on a fly. That's number one. Number two, again, you're talking about the contract, right? You already said it, Chris. Number three, that's another injury prone player that I gotta worry about. So that's 3 reasons why I don't want to have him. Where David Stearns, all he preaches is staying young. So if they're not gonna move Brett Beatty, I'll take my chances with Brett Beatty at third, and I'll roll that way. Unless they go out for a Bregman, then that's a different story. But who knows what they do at third? Who knows what they do at third? You know what I'm saying?
Name hunting, bro. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it.
Listen, I'm just saying the option.
I joke around and I have fun with it, but I know deep down inside we're setting ourselves for failure. Like, I'm not gonna do it. Wow me. You know what? Surprise me. I love surprises. That's the way I look at it.
I'll do that at this point, right?
Well, I mean, if you put Bregman at third base after you made that move for Semien, that might be one of the best infields in baseball. Defensively,
that's elite. That's elite. You're just praying that a Marcus Semien can stay healthy. And I'm all about players staying healthy. This is why I don't want to borrow Buxton. I know everybody wants Buxton. I know everybody keeps climbing. He's one of the best defensive center fielders in the game. Yeah, when he's healthy. That's the problem. The guy can never stay healthy.
Buxton is unreliable. I mean, we can't front on Semien. Last year's injury was a fluke injury. He broke his foot off a foul ball. I don't think that he's been pretty consistent.
Right. I'm not again, that's different, but he has a history of having a lot of injuries, and that's the only thing that scares me. And I'm talking about all three. Semien, Seager, and
I know Seager's been hurt, but Semien's been mostly reliable in terms of time. Most of his career he's been pretty healthy.
Yeah, I mean that's good to know, because I've looked into a little bit, and he does have a little bit of a history in injury with an injury history. So I'm just hoping that it doesn't come and bite us in the ass, because then you're gonna have to revert back to Jeff McNeil if they don't trade him. And that's another.
Another one that I was like, we're telling him he's gonna stay. I don't understand why we're saying that. That doesn't make sense to me.
AP, that whole Stearns press conference was straight BS. Think about it. You're gonna tell me. I was telling Top this. I was telling Top this. Tell me if this makes sense. You tell me that you're gonna trade a longer tenured Met that's basically been here for 13 years, 14 years, and you had to ask him to get traded, and you're going to tell me that you spoke to McNeil and he's okay with the future, what we're doing? Bro, he has 1 year left. Like, what are you asking permission for? McNeil, what are you doing? Like, it makes no sense, bro. Like, he's obviously going to get traded. Like, he probably told McNeil, and he's not going to say it because obviously he's playing his cards to his chest. We're going to trade you. We're going to send you to a place where you're going to get more playing time, because here's not it. Because think about it, AP. Let me ask you something. Didn't this man just get surgery on his arm because he can't throw? What is the first thing they asked David Stearns about McNeil playing center field next year? And what did he say? Oh, we don't see McNeil playing in the outfield next year at all. So now all of a sudden, this press conference, he's saying, oh, we spoke to McNeil. He could get some reps in the outfield. You just said you didn't want him in the outfield. So you tell me that I'm not going crazy? That's what you said. So I
Yeah,
don't
and
believe
then
everything. I don't believe
then the
what you
worst
said.
part about it is that he said that he might be taking reps at first base, and I said, "Yo, bro,
Well,
what in the world?"
you know why Stearns did that? You know why Stearns did that? To rile up the
Oh,
whole bullshit, narrative. Like Stearns is smart. He knows what he's doing, bro. He's
yeah, but
gonna
you know
rile up the
what?
fan
They
base.
would be. I wouldn't be shocked if they did that. If they gave him a couple games at first,
Well,
just so he could stick with
bro,
his word.
it's Stearns, bro. I don't hold anything past him, bro.
Bro.
At this point,
Oh boy. Well, now that we got that out the way, right? Because that's I think this trade is gonna try to it's gonna take a while for Met fans to digest. You know, Brandon Nimmo has been with us since two.
I already did, nigga. I already
Yeah.
digested that shit. I already shit it out in the toilet, nigga. That shit is gone, man. This shit is gone, bro. I don't know.
Well, personally for me, I just want to say, you know, I don't know how you guys feel, but thank you, Brandon Nimmo, for just playing your
Of
heart out on the
course.
field. For
Yeah, he definitely
the team
look
player.
like it's no disrespect to him. Thanks you for the effort that you put in. Like he wasn't a terrible Met. Like I just think that to me, when I look at this team and the way it's set up, I'm not sad over losing Nimmo. I'm not. Like I don't.
Bro.
I'm not. I'm not upset about losing him. What I'm concerned about is how we're going to, in the future, like
Address that whole
going forward, how we're going to set up this team. That's all I'm really concerned about. Losing Nemo to me is not a big deal. I think Nemo is a decent player, but I think it's time that we start shaping up to
Listen,
shore up every position that we have.
listen. The way I see it, look, Steve Cohen put out and his wife put out a statement. He represented the Mets like a pro, like a professional, off and on the field, and I appreciate that. But when you got time, it gotta go. Time gotta go. How do you?
And I
I
do
don't
want
understand
to.
about this fan base.
Yeah, no, and I want, like I said, I want to reiterate, like, because I know that Top had, like, I think that Top was talking about Buxton and whatnot, but Marcus Semien is not an injury-prone player. Like, I looked at the numbers. He's been one of the players that have played that position as reliable as possible. Last year, he broke his foot. It's a fluke injury. Dude plays every day. He plays at a top level with the glove. His WAR is double that of what McNeil is because dude is a 7.3, McNeil's a 3.6. So when you're talking about a player that's going to be able to win you games with his glove, that's a big get that we got. Now, am I scared about his offense? Yes. He's 35. He's not getting any younger. He's probably not going to revert to his 2023 self. But if we could get a little bit more consistency with the bat, then we may have a really solid player. At least what you were saying, Chris, about like he's going to help the pitchers out. Because how many times did we sit there when this team was collapsing and saw a lot of stupid bonehead errors? It made no sense whatsoever. And you're just looking at it like, yo, when is this going to, like, it was like watching the same game over and over with the errors. So I think in that retrospect, we get a guy that's not going to be making these idiotic plays, that knows how to handle second base, that is also a clubhouse leader. Like we can't front on what he did with Texas. He's a champion too.
He was a captain.
He's a World Series champion.
They traded the captain.
Yeah,
No,
I do want to take that back.
I'm
looking at his thing right now. He's actually played most of the season. Actually.
So that's why I wanted
to
make sure that we didn't put that out there because I know for a fact that
the
dude played. Like he's one of the most like he's always on the field. And that's something that like we talk about durability when we wanna like Like, oh man, Pete stays on the field all the time. So we got to give Marcus Semien is the same type of player. He plays every game, like, and he plays at a high level. Like his
Right.
offense, yeah, we can shit on that if you want, but we can't shit on the fact that he's always on there and that his defense is stellar. So it's gonna be that double play combination of Lindor and Simeon is gonna be incredible. Now, who we're throwing it to at first base, and if they can make the play, is gonna be something else. But at least we know the second and shortstop combo is gonna be there, so we got that.
At least they got one part of the diamond figured
Yeah.
out,
Bro,
right?
I just wanted to finish the point on what I was saying earlier that this fan base clamors about the core and all this, the core. That's all we heard, core. They finally shake it up, and then they start crying about it. Well, because I don't understand. Well, then again, we're Met fans. Like, when do we understand each other? Like,
It's
we complain about everything.
it's
So,
it's player
but
fans.
what I'm
That's
trying to
that's
say,
it's,
what
that's
I'm
what it
trying to
is.
say is that change needed to happen. Now, at the end of the day, will it get us to the promised land? I hope so. But remember, he was a great Met. I'm not taking nothing away from him. Great Met. It was fun watching him here, but sometimes you gotta let things go, bro. And the way I see it is that how about if we do? Bryce Harper left the Nats, and the very next year they won a World Series. Like it happens, bro. Like it is what it is, bro. Like you, if David Stearns saw this a way out of Brandon Nimmo, which I raised my hand. I didn't think they were going to trade that contract. That contract was very risky to trade, especially when you have a no trade clause.
Mhm.
And shout out to Billy Eppler for doing that one. That was great. But but the way they got out of it, and they just
That
got
was
3 years of Simeon,
something.
3 years of Simeon, and now they got the hole in the outfield where they could sign a player, trade a player. I don't know what they're gonna do, but it's there. Remember before we were like, oh, this roster's clogged up. We can't move this guy. We can't move. Well, now it's there. Now we could shift people around. Now, what David Stern's gonna do? It remains to be seen. It remains to be seen.
Absolutely, but
I think
let's get on to a different.
that's the biggest question after this, right? Like, what is, like, me and you talked about this, Chris. Like, this feels like a precursor to something else because it feels like you opened up that position for something, and you opened up those years at the end of that contract for something. Ultimately, what is that something? Is it just to bring back Pete Alonso? Is it to bring a Bellinger? Is it to bring what's this guy Tucker? I
Tucker.
honestly don't know. I don't want to set myself up, but I do think that the Mets now have the making of becoming a better defensive team by this subtraction because I do think that you can, if you want, move Soto to left, open up the right field for a capable young outfielder. You could, and that could be anyone. I think that to me, if you put Soto in left field, you are putting him in a better situation. And I think that his arm would play better there too, because I think that Soto, especially in City Field, left field to me plays a little bit easier than it would be right field with all that space. Um, and I think that if you could get a right fielder in here that could actually track the ball and have an arm, like our outfield has the chance to be really good too. So I think the Mets have the ball's in the Mets court, and I think that the Mets have the capacity to make this team really, really good. Are they going to do it? That to
Right,
me is the question. Are they going to
right.
commit? I don't know. Like, I mean, I'll ask you guys, do you think that Stearns is really going to commit the money to a Tucker?
I don't think so. The way the payroll would be, the way the payroll is now, you're talking about the Juan Soto's contract. We don't even have to go there. Then you're talking about, Lindor's contract. I said this to Chris before you came in. The only big contract that I see him taking would be if they go after Fernando Tatis. But then again, is San Diego gonna just let go of that? The only way I could see them doing that is if AJ Preller says, "Listen, we're thin of prospects right now. If the window of us winning a championship with the way the Dodgers are, it's closing. It's getting smaller and smaller. With the amount of prospects that they've given up, if the Mets are willing to give up a good haul for Tatis, and we can at least get away from
Well,
that contract, since nobody else is
let's
going to
also
get away
ask the
from."
question: is Tatis a Stearns player? Because I don't think he is.
With defensively, I think he's above that.
I think
Remember,
he
he won
is.
2 platinum gloves in a row.
No, I'm not
I
disputing
see
that.
that.
What I'm saying is, it feels to me like Tatis is not the type of like player that the Mets are looking for, in the sense of like the out of the clubhouse activities and his behavior on the field. It just feels like Stearns has like this, like he's looking for like these safe guys that like are not gonna like rock the clubhouse too much. And I don't know if Tatis, I mean, I'm not saying that Tatis is like a bad character or anything like that. I just like, I'm looking at the dynamic of the players that Stearns tends to look at. And I don't know if Tatis is that type of player. And on top of it, if we're talking about a lot of money too, Tatis has a lot of money and a lot of years. So that's a player
The
that's
good thing with Tatis, if his annual value is really not that much, it's 24. That's it. 24 for the next 10 years. That's doable. That's great. That's
Now,
that's
if
good value for what he does bring to you.
right now, if they don't want to go that route and they want
I
to go
would
ahead,
personally sign me up for 10 years of
listen,
Soto and Tatis on this team. I think that
I
would be
told you from the
amazing.
moment, I told you his prospect hugging bullshit has to stop. Like they
No,
like if they're calling for Benj, yeah, I can't say no to that. I'm sorry. If they're saying we'll take Jet and Benj right now for Tatis, how am I gonna say no to that? Right? Like
I don't
I
have
can't.
any. There's no. When I
They
look at
want
the
pitching.
the
That's
composition
the
of
number
this
one thing.
team, there's not one player like maybe Nolan, because of how much value
He's
and
the
what we're
much
trying to do with
untouchable.
the starting pitching. He's the
I'll
only
give him
one that I
Tong.
hold on to.
I'll give him Tong. Tong and Sproul could go. No,
Yeah,
Nolan's the
McLean's
only one that I feel like is untouchable out of
right.
all of them.
listen.
Exactly.
This is what I want to say. This is me because I love having fun with it, but I know it's not gonna happen because it's
You can tell
asinine.
Chris doesn't believe
You
it
can tell
because
it's
Chris is
breaking his heart.
laughing before he
It's
gets it
breaking
out of
his
his
heart.
mouth.
It's breaking
Yeah.
his heart.
He doesn't believe it himself. He don't believe it.
It's asinine. It's asinine to think that the Padres that are in the playoffs year in and year out are gonna just trade away one of their best players because finance situation and
they're in a
ownership
messed
and
up
shit.
spot. They're in a messed
But I
up
know
spot right
that.
now.
But they still extending AJ Preller. Like, you know what I'm saying? They still
Well,
working with.
I think if you look at Preller has been able to keep that team a playoff team. He has drafted players that have been able to get him better players.
But let me ask you this.
I don't know.
Let me ask you this. If you trade away Tatis, you telling me they're gonna be a playoff team next year? I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
But
They might sneak it to the wild card. That's as far as I can.
I mean, if the Mets keep choking, look at what the Reds did. So I mean,
but let me say my thoughts on this.
Go ahead.
As much craziness, I don't like thinking about it because I know it's probably not gonna happen, and then we all gonna get disappointed. Which I'm not doing that. But if the Mets, if AJ Preller calls the Mets and says, I gotta get rid of Tatis, whatever, for whatever reason, whatever, the Mets are in a perfect spot to do it. Just like the Yankees were in a perfect spot to get Soto, they're in a perfect spot to get him. You know why? Because they need young pitching control. Because guess what? They lost Darvish for the whole year. He's done. Musgrove is just coming back from Tommy John. They lost Michael King. They don't know if they're gonna resign him. They lost Dylan Cease. You know where I'm heading? So guess what? Mets got a whole bunch of pitching. They could throw him a Jonathan or a Sproul. Shit, I'll give both of them up. I'll give both of my pitching prospects.
Gone.
and
Gone.
you sell him with a outfielder, whatever that outfielder is.
All right, you know what,
that
Chris?
They want to call it.
I'm gonna say if let's say the Mets do it right. Let's say the Mets get Tatis. He plays right field. Are you willing to get Tatis on this team? And Top, you can answer too, obviously. Are you willing to make the trades, like you said? We get rid of the young pitching, we send them out, we bring Tatis in, but now that means that we lose. Pete is gone, and we lose possibly Diaz too.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that because
You're okay with
they've
losing both of those guys for Tatis.
You know why I'm okay
okay
with
with
it?
that.
Okay,
Because
just want to make sure.
They've already
I'm okay with
shown
it.
where they're gonna pivot. That's the thing. See if
Yeah.
they see if that article from Mo Salmon never came out and Salmon didn't say what he didn't say, then I'll be like, it depends on what they did. But the fact that he put that article like 2 days ago and said, listen, if they don't get Diaz, they're pivoting to
So
Robert
for those of
Torres
you that may
or
not have read it, the Mets have been thinking about. First of all, there's a real sticking point between the years and both Pete and Diaz.
I actually have
One of
I
the
got the
things that they
article up here. I'll
Yeah, if
put
you
it
want to
up
pull
here
it up.
later.
So they talked
Yeah.
about the possibility of, and they've already talked to the agents of Williams and Suarez too.
Suarez.
So one of the things that I find interesting is that like they did not like Diaz's 5-year contract, and they hate it now even more because Diaz is not. They feel like Diaz is not going to age very well into that contract. So they
But you
want
gotta
they
understand
don't want to give
who
Diaz
signed him
5
to
years.
that deal. It was
That what?
Billy Epler that signed him to that deal. Billy Epler signed him
Yeah.
to that deal. That's why.
You did. I
I'm
mean,
pretty
look,
sure if
I
Stearns was
I
there, he
don't
was gonna go
know.
5 years.
I don't know. 5 years is a long time. And I think he would be what? He would be 37 when that contract ended.
Something like
Right,
that,
bro.
yeah. He's
Yeah,
31 right now, yeah.
I don't know. That's a tough one, but at the same time, too, he is the top close. I just feel like the Mets would be better served right now if you're going to, man, if you're going to let him go, then you've got to hit on the guy that you're bringing here because it's not easy to perform in New York, and Diaz has his up and downs, but he's been mostly consistent. I mean, I know that he blew 7 saves. I believe it was 2 years ago, and he had like an ERA like close to 3, if not in the threes. So I know that he didn't have like he's not been like Mariano all the time, but I mean the dude's been probably our best closer in Mets history. So if you look at like when if he's able to handle the pressure and if he's able to work here, yeah. I don't know if the other guys could do. I mean, you're talking about a Devin Williams that went to the Yankees and fell on his face for most of the year to the point where he lost his job as a closer. Then you're talking about bringing in Suarez. Like I don't know what he's gonna do here. Like we don't know.
I'm
And
more
Suarez
intrigued
is
by
older too.
Suarez.
Suarez is 35. So like we're getting a pitcher that's
I
older
guess,
too. So what are we gonna
but
do?
guess what? Guess what? That fits the Stearns model. No more than 3 years. I'm telling you, that's the model. He doesn't want to give nobody more
But
than 3 or
Chris,
2
we're talking
years.
about the 3 years, like the same thing with Simeon. We're talking about a span of 3 years where you're past your prime. 35 is past your prime.
No.
So
But
what are we
Well, no, of
here
course.
expecting out of these
But
guys?
guess what?
right.
You're gonna tell me if let's say Simeon doesn't perform, like he's been asked the last second year of the contract, that third year, you're gonna tell me the Mets ain't gonna eat that and just like, yo, go home. They will.
My
Well, I mean,
my
in
thing
three
my
years, we don't even know what that's going to look like because honestly,
Yeah,
my,
we
that's
don't
what I'm
even
saying.
know.
my thing with
No, but I'm
AP,
talking
my
about
thing on
the
AP's
CBA and the whole dynamic of baseball. We don't know if there's going to be
right,
any type of like
right.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you.
cap. We don't know anything.
That cap, the cap is not gonna happen. I know that for a fact because these guys they will not play. And guess what? Ownership right now, they're living off the Dodgers' money right now. They will be stupid not to end the. There will be a lockout. Don't get me wrong. but I don't think it's going to be as long as people think. I don't know. I just think it'll be very stupid for both parties to lose out so much money when the sport is past NBA right now. It's past the NBA. The NBA is like shit right now. Nobody cares about the NBA. And you're going to lose that momentum over pride? I don't know. I just don't see it
Well, I
happening.
mean,
But I could be wrong.
to
I could be wrong.
AP's point, because I know a lot of people are like, "Yo, I don't want to pay a closer that much money. He's asking for a lot." If it comes down to it, and you're talking about paying Edwin Diaz that money, and his contract ends when he's 37, why not just take that risk on that one pitcher and have that pitcher just have that long-term contract and everybody else stay on a short-term contract where you're already going to give what a 3-4 year deal to a guy who's 35, where I rather, you know what I'm saying? Like I kind of see where AP saying, like, if everybody's talking about the long term, Edwin Diaz's contract is going to end at the year that Suarez is at already.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I kind of see where,
100%.
and then it's like, why not give a long-term deal to the closer that you know that has had success?
What
throughout-
contract is going to age better? Like, if you think about it,
Right.
you're giving
I
5
see what
years
you're saying.
to a guy that's
Right.
32, which means he'll have at least 3. I would say 3 or 4 effective years compared to a guy that you're giving 3 years to that's already at 35, and then you're
I don't
banking
even
on
think
being
Suarez is gonna
good
get
to
3 years.
38. I don't know. What?
I don't think Suarez is gonna get 33 years. I think he'll probably get 2. Because I didn't even know his age. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't even know his age.
He's 35.
I don't think.
Yeah, he's
I
35.
don't think he's gonna get more. I don't think he's gonna get 3.
He's 35.
He'll probably get 2 in the option.
I mean,
but
I
2 in the
would
option.
love, to me, the Mets would be better served if you're thinking about that bullpen. The thought of bringing Diaz back and maybe getting a Fairbanks to be the 8th inning setup guy, I think makes so much more sense. I think that you can't, like, I think that they went cheap last year, and I don't think you could be cheap in these positions. Like, we saw what a BS bullpen could do, and I just don't think that we could go in there with holes. Like, I don't want to have a bullpen that's crap. Like, I think we need a bullpen that you can turn to every night. Somebody else could be like the guy that does it. Like, I just think, but I think you need to have that rock at the end. Like, you need a rock solid closer, and I don't want to have like a question mark. Yo, if it wasn't for the Dodgers having the best starting pitching in baseball, they would have lost. They would have lost.
I agree.
Their bullpen
I
was
agree.
Tanner Scott was garbage. The only thing that saved them was Yamamoto
And
being able to
you know
come
what? They gave
in
him 4 years.
and just being a closer for them.
Yep.
They gave him 4 years, 80 mil. This is what I'm telling you.
They-
Like, teams, I don't know if they're gonna go that crazy. Like, I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. I really don't know what they're gonna do.
It's hard. It's hard with the relievers. You know what I'm saying? Because pitchers are so fragile nowadays. And I think that's where you're looking at it from a standpoint of David Stearns is like, listen, there's a reason why I don't want to give pitchers long-term contracts. One bad move with that arm and we're fucked. You know what I'm saying?
And let's be honest with ourselves. Let's be honest with ourselves. The only time Diaz is effective if he's throwing 100 mile per hour. When he was coming in throwing 95, 97, that dude was getting smoked. So
right.
He got. I'm not shitting on Diaz. I want Diaz back. But if you're telling me you got to get him for 5 years, I don't know, man. I would do it. The fan in me would do it. Stearns is not gonna do it, bro. Like,
I get the business side of it. I
don't trust that man. I don't trust that man.
I just feel like you could easily do this by just putting incentives in there. Like, if you reach a certain amount of innings and blah blah blah, then you get a guarantee.
I feel like this time around, Diaz ain't playing that shit. This time around, Diaz wants his money because
he wants his cash.
It's the way he managed it this way was so much different from before. And it's obvious. And I don't blame him. He's the best closer in the game. Like, let him. He deserves his money, but he's not gonna help the Mets out. He's not gonna do it.
No pay cut.
Especially with the comments that he made. He said, "I'm gonna think about my family, and I don't know what they're thinking." What's that tell me? That means that they're not where you want to be at. Because if they were where you want to be at, you would have signed already. But he didn't. Last time he signed his contract, guess what? It was 5 years. Run with it, 102. I'm not even gonna think about it. This time around, this is gonna be his last contract. It could be his last contract of his career. So he's gonna play it smart. He's gonna be like, yo, I'm probably gonna go where I get the most money, where it's better for my family,
Well,
and all that stuff.
I look at the funny thing about this is that there is a telling kind
Oh,
of.
real
And
quick,
this is
AP,
why
just
this is so funny up and down with this.
real
Right.
quick,
Go ahead.
AP. If
Yeah.
y'all notice, right? AP got no lights. He does this thing to where he just kind of saves the vision in his eyes. So if everybody could just kind of
Nah,
put the
it's
screen
called
in just
having
to
kids and
give
putting them to
it.
sleep. So
No,
I
don't
didn't,
break
I,
your
I didn't
right
want
nose
now,
or
I
if
didn't
you
something.
want
don't
to
hear
put your
my
kids out
daughter
there,
right now, it's
dude.
because she's like I'm trying to put her to sleep and not have her talk. So
I
she's
could, I
watching
could
a
just
movie
imagine
and like just
people that are
chilling.
watching us right now. Why the hell is this dude in the dark?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I can
Bueno,
see it.
so
But
that full transparency is just that my daughter's awake and like I don't want to overstimulate her. But the the Met Edwin Diaz, looking at his stats right now,
Edward Diaz.
he's yeah. I was because he has seasons where he's not Edwin, he's Edward.
it's Edward.
He goes like in 2020, like this has been pretty much his whole MO since he's been a Met. Nothing worse than his first year, obviously. His first year in
Mhm.
2019, god awful. He's
That was ass.
5.59 ERA.
Mm,
Then in
no.
2020, the COVID season, 1.75. Then the following year in 2021, 3.45. Then in 2022, 1.31. Then in 2023, he didn't play because he got hurt. When he came back in 2024, 3.52. And last year,
What?
1.63.
One
So he
point.
goes up and down,
So
up
next
and
year,
down. So
next year,
he
3 point.
hasn't. We're setting ourselves for 2026 to go up to threes again, and it's volatile. We never know like what's gonna happen, but honestly, he has been a good player for us. I just wonder what we're gonna get from somebody else other than him because I really don't like. I'm looking at. I just pulled up Robert Suarez's numbers, and Robert Suarez, what ultimately you could say is that because he started so late in baseball, maybe he has, I mean, in the major leagues anyway, I should say, because he started at the age of 31. His ERA, he's been fairly consistent. He had that 2023 year when he had 4.23, but if you go to his rookie year, 31, he had 2.21. 4.23, like I said in 23. In 24, 2.77, and last year 2.97. So he's been pretty much in the
Under
twos.
3.
He's pitched he's pitched more or less. I mean, the last 2 years he's pitched 65 and 70 innings, 65 or 70 games, but I don't know. I mean, he is 34. He's going to be 35 next year. I don't know, but I mean, it's not terrible. I mean, if you wanna go to Devin Williams, if that's
Oh
a
boy.
possibility, I'm
Yeah,
nervous
that-
about Devin Williams myself.
Oh,
I mean, the
boy.
ERA last year was horrible. It was 4.79. Buddy's also had some injury stuff too because the year before that, 22 games, but that was pretty much. Then he's the year before that, 1.25 in 24, 1.53 in 23, 1.93 in 22. Maybe the only outlier of this was last year in the Bronx, and we know that the Bronx is a hitter's park. Maybe if we
Could
bring
be.
him
We
to
don't know.
Queens, where it's much more of a pitcher's park and it plays truer, maybe I mean, he had a great second half last year. We can't forget that the second half he was pitching a whole lot
He
better.
could. Right.
I'm already convinced that he's
And
gonna
he's
be the
30.
guy because
And he's 30 years old.
he's 30, and guess what? He's Mr. Stearns. That was his guy. Stearns traded Josh Hader because David Williams could be the closer. That's what Stearns did. So
Yeah.
and we all
Well,
know how he loves
that
his.
could be a good move. That could. I'm just nervous about what I saw of his performance in New York last year. But I, if you're telling me that there's a possibility that he could regain his form from Milwaukee, and we could get him at a cheaper rate because of the crap year that he had, or like a prove it year type thing. I don't know. I would love to get two reliable eighth and ninth inning guys. I think that if you could get me somebody, like I said, I think Fairbanks would be the best eighth inning option because I don't think he's going to cost you a lot, and I think he'd be okay going into the eighth inning role. I think him and Williams, if it had to be that, look, I would love to have Diaz, but if we get those two, bringing Minter back, Rayleigh back, I think our left side of the bullpen is solidified. Hopefully, Nunez comes back. I think he could be really good from the right hand side. I think that we could be stacked really with in our bullpen if we make sure that we don't screw ourselves and just say let's just get one ninth inning guy and go with a bunch of Syracuse guys. I don't want that. Like, also, we could also try to bring Rogers back, but for the love of God, no inherited runners. Like, please, like, bring this guy in when there's nobody on base. But
Does anybody want Gregory Soto back?
I wouldn't be mad at that, to be honest with you. I wouldn't. I think that Gregory Soto
Okay.
serves a purpose. I think Gregory Soto in a role like in the sixth inning wouldn't be
Mm-hmm.
terrible. I think that Mendoza does have a way of burning these guys down. Sosa, when he got here, Soto, when he was here at the beginning of that trade, wasn't bad. But you start throwing him every damn day, just like what do you call it? Stanek at the beginning of the year. Stanek was
Right.
great, and then
Right.
all of a
Absolutely.
sudden you threw him a bunch of times, and then he lost everything that he was. Stanek. I was thinking about Kranick. Sorry, Kranick. I thought was like one of the better relievers that the Mets had, and then
Right.
you burnt his arm to the ground.
Come
I
up,
think that Mendoza has to take some accountability and not use these guys like that because it makes no sense. Like, you can't use these guys every
Absolutely.
day. So I don't know.
Right. Yeah. I mean, listen, it got a lot of options. Where they pivot, I think, is going to be the interesting part. It won't be shocking to me if they bring in a Robert Suarez and then Will Salmon puts an article 2 weeks later talking about the Mets did have an offer for Edwin Diaz, but the Toronto Blue Jays.
If we get one of those,
Those were the best.
we offered him, and he circled back, but by then it was too late. Like, I'm done.
No,
You're like
wait,
another one,
wait.
Conyo.
AP. He circled back, but we already had too many pensions already.
We had too many pensions in the pot.
Yeah, right.
So Diaz
Right,
can't come back
exactly.
because he can't get
So-
his pension.
I want to get to the last one before we end it off. Pete Alonso. That one is where I think Met fans are really, really invested. You talk about a player fan, a fan player, however you say it. Somebody that listen. To be honest with you,
I don't even
want
know
him
what
back.
you said. A fan player, a player fan.
A
What
player
is
fan.
that?
I didn't know how.
He's an air conditioner now. I don't know what this is. I mean, I know he's the polar bear, but he's a fan now. Jeez.
He's a fan. He's a polar fan now. The options.
Fan favorite.
Yeah, fan favorites. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Fan
It's
favorite.
late for you. It's late.
He's watching the Knicks. That's one.
No, I actually turned off my TV. I left that after the third quarter. The options for Pete Alonso not coming back I would say they're interesting in a way, but at the same time, if you're David Stearns, it's right there on the silver platter, in my opinion.
I gotta tell you, I'm not a big Pete fan, just like I'm not a big Nimmo fan or whatever. But if you look at the free agent market, I don't know where you're gonna get this offense from. I don't know. You really can't tell me. First of all, for as bad as he is throwing to first base, I can't be mad at the. You also gotta you also got to remember he could scoop it better than a lot of players. He has saved that infield a lot of errors just by scooping the ball. So we see that when you go and you put a Vientos there or somebody else, they can't scoop it as good as him. I mean, I can't. I don't blame Pete. Like we tend to act like these numbers grow on trees. Where the hell are you gonna get 130 and 40 from? Like I don't know. And he loves playing here. I mean, for as crazy as he drives me, and Singer's hamstring is it's almost snapped. Like I
That man
just
is
think
dying to
that
get traded.
yeah, now we're gonna trade Singer because of Pete's throw. But I don't know. I don't know. Where do you go with that?
That
Good
one's a
question.
tricky one for me because this whole memo trade, it does open up a possibility of them Mets feeling more comfortable to give Pete the 5 years now because they don't have long term commitment with Bibble. It's just gonna be Pete
Mhm.
in 5 years. But AP is right. Where are you gonna get that product unless you're not thinking big name hunting, like Schwarber, should I say, or fucking Kyle Tucker, which is not the same as Pete. Like,
Right.
but the only
Right.
one that you can match up, the only one home run wise that's on the market that is gonna give you the home run rise. I'm not talking about hitting overall, but home run rise. There's two guys, and one of them I'm not too too like fond of, but it makes sense. Is Kyle Schwarber makes perfect sense to replace Pete like that. But the other guy is Suarez. That's the only two guys that have that kind of pop. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about defense or anything. I'm talking about those are the only two guys that has that kind of pop on the market. Other than that, everybody else is it's not even close to it. So
Mm.
Pete is the only way to go. Pete is the only way to go. Like you're not gonna get
So
Schwarber. We all know
so
that. We're not gonna get Schwarber.
what if I was gonna say let's put let me put Dreaming on Barcelona real quick and ask you this question. What if they went the route of getting a Kyle Schwarber for DH and go and get a Bellinger to kind of play first base in a way?
That plays. It's
That
okay
plays,
Yeah,
right? It does. Okay.
but then for
'Cause-
all that, like
dreaming again.
then we're
But then
playing
you're dreaming again.
Monopoly.
Dreaming again.
Exactly.
Yeah, but then you're dreaming
I
again.
know.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yo,
So then you're dreaming again.
AP just wanted to grab my
Late
neck
at
and just like,
night
yo,
when
top,
all
fuck
the
up, yo.
world
Yo,
can
You see what I'm
see
trying to
his
say?
face?
You yeah.
AP just
Then
wanted to be like, yo,
you
top,
Oh,
stop. Enough, top.
you basically
you're
replace
basically spending the money that you were gonna give Pete
yeah
anyway.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
exactly.
You basically spending the same money.
I'm a firm believer we should get Bellinger because I don't think we're gonna get Tatis, and I think Bellinger would be able to fix a lot. First, he'd be able to play a bunch of positions for you, and I think he
I
would
think
fit
the
this
Mets
team
love that.
really good. But I don't think that you could. I think that you would still need Pete if you sign a Bellinger, and for all that Schwarber is gonna do. I don't like just having a guy that can only play DH and just be fat. Like I think you need to have a little bit of versatility there because you
Well,
need to move some guys around. What if you want to give Soto a day at DH or something? So I think that you have to give those days.
my thing is AP. Going on what Stern said, they don't plan to give Soto any DH days like that. Because that's what Stern said. I'm only going with what he said. So if they're planning that, you could just get a natural just DH because Memo's the only guy you really needed at DH at the time. Because Memo was the guy that was with the bad feet. Everybody else plays every day. Like Lindor plays every day. You know, everybody else plays every day. So
Right.
it kind of makes sense. You could go full DH, but the Mets don't run their team like that. Like they're gonna want that flexibility to give the young kids at bats too. That's
Mhm.
another thing
Mhm.
they're gonna want. So we'll see. I mean, I the Pete like you you can't go to this fan base and say we got rid of Memo, we got Marcus Semien, and guess what? Pete is gone, but we got Bellinger to replace him. Like no, that shit make no sense. That shit make no sense. Like
Yeah,
you went from your
Yo,
team was already
I
mid.
just
Your team was
don't
already
know.
mid
Stearns
to
is playing with fire right now. I think Stearns is playing with some fire.
you see,
'Cause
but
if
this is
he,
but here's my thing on that AP though. Isn't this what the fan base has been asking for? I'm not talking about the ass shakers. I'm talking about us, motherfuckers that been going at him for getting into the uncomfortableness. This is what we've wanted. He
what we
did he
wanted him
did
to be
something.
uncomfortable.
Yes. I've said it from the very start of that press conference after the season ended. I said he's gonna have to do something he doesn't want to do. He's gonna have to do something that no matter. Nah, I take that back.
You mean
He's gonna
okay?
have
So
to
you
do
mean that
something
he's gonna
that he's
have to
never
change
done. That he's
his
never
ways?
done. Right. He's gonna have to change his ways, but he's gonna have to do something that he's never done. And I think the first thing that he sent the message by taking one of the core guys. So he's gonna have to go. He's gonna have to continue to do that. There's no other way.
well, in that aspect of it, then you're not even competing for a division at that point. You're just
I
competing
mean,
just
I
to
would
try to.
hate to see this lineup. If you're telling me that
That's
we
what I'm
lose
saying.
we have Bellinger, and then what the hell is this team? I don't know what this
Oh
team
no,
is.
no,
You're
no. I'm
rocking
not saying that.
Lindor and Soto to
Yeah,
carry. That's
no,
it.
no, no, no. I'm not saying to keep the lineup the way it is. No, I think he needs to bring Pete back, but I also think he needs to bring an example. He needs to bring Diaz back, and I don't think he wants to give Diaz what Diaz is asking for. But I think
Okay,
he
so you
needs to
mean get
step.
uncomfortable with the terms of the
Ex-
contract? Okay.
exactly. He's gonna have to do things that he's
He's
really
gonna have
never
to give
done.
a contract that he don't. Yeah, he's gonna have to give
Right,
up a
Well, look,
contract that
right,
he
if
don't.
that's the
right.
case, then he should start getting uncomfortable with getting a starting pitcher because God knows we need a
I
starting
agree.
pitcher ace.
I
Bro,
absolutely agree.
that is
I
my
We need
absolutely,
that
number
more than
one
anything.
thing.
I
Can
absolutely agree.
can we address that first and then talk about? Because that's our biggest issue. Address
I
that
agree.
shit because it's gonna be hard to address it, especially when
Yes,
other teams are gonna
yes.
be lurking and when
Hmm.
options start going at the table. Guess what? You're there with your hands empty. I was gonna say something else, but I don't want to disrespect. But you, you're gonna stay there with your hands empty. And guess what? Now you got to go back with the same rotation and say, guess what,
Hmm.
guys? We're going up there with the young guys now. We're gonna have a full year of Noah.
Yep,
Of what's his
yep.
name? I even forgot his name already.
Noah McClain.
Jonathan and Noah McLean. Like McLean is the only one I could say like, okay, I can't wait to see that. But Jonathan guy, he's 22, man, and I wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed what I saw.
I was more
He
impressed with
still got
Brandon
the
Sproat than I was with Jonathan.
Spro was a little bit more impressive,
Well,
but
right. That's
Spro
what
is
I'm saying.
another one.
Right.
Like that's like
Right. No, no,
I
right,
don't know.
right. I'm just saying between the two, like who impressed
Listen,
me more, like who.
listen, the Mets. Listen, the Mets. They shouldn't be going after this as just a team to get in the playoffs and see what happens. That's not the way they should be
Mhm.
running the team. But that's the way Stearns is running the team. It feels like that. The Mets should be talking about we got to chase down the Phillies to win the division and the Dodgers to take that
Mhm.
crown. But they don't operate that
Mhm.
way. Until I don't see them operate that way, I am not going to believe it. Because there is no way in hell you're going to tell me that you went from a lineup that Lindor hit 30 bombs, Soto hit 42, Pete Alonso hit 38, Memo hit 25. As much as we didn't, he hit 25. And you're gonna take two of those guys away, 25 and 38. Where are you gonna get that production from? Bellinger ain't gonna hit you no 30 home runs. He at best will give you 25. At best. So right there itself is like you're replacing Memo with Bellinger, and
And
guess what?
for
And guess what?
the
You
numbers
have
that
to
we saw, it wasn't great. He was
no
way better in Yankee Stadium
at
and
home.
everywhere
Yep.
else. So I
And
don't
now
know if
listen,
I'm in love with
they're
him like
And,
that.
and, my,
So I don't know.
and my question is to you guys: does it make sense that you freed up 5 years of Memo and you're gonna give 6 years to Bellinger? That shit don't make no sense to me.
Yeah, I
that shit
wouldn't.
That
make
shit's
I
like
yeah,
wouldn't.
that
you're
shit
going
don't make
backwards.
yeah,
You're going
that shit don't
backwards.
make no sense.
So
Yeah,
for that,
right.
I signed Garcia to 1 year and just figure out what we do with
Approve a
Benz
deal.
after that. Yeah,
Approve
Approve
a
a
deal.
deal. Get
Yeah.
them approve a deal.
I
If you
would,
want to play that
I
route.
would totally sign Garcia, have Bench come up slowly, and then see what we got.
Just right. Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
you know
There's
what the Mets are gonna end up doing, and this is gonna fear up the fan base. But I can see 100% what the Mets are gonna do. they're gonna end up trading for Luis Robert, right?
Oh,
And they're gonna play him
God,
as center.
no.
No, hear
Like,
this,
yo,
hear this,
oh,
hear this out.
Lord.
Hear this out. Hear this out. Hear this out. It's a 1 year
I'm
deal.
going
That's
to
why.
bed. You already gave me a
Robert's gonna play
nightmare.
center
Good
field.
night.
Yes, and Carson Bench is gonna play left field, and that's what they're gonna do. First base,
Oh
I don't know what they're
shit!
Yo, that
Well,
would
well,
be
the
that would
Carson
be
Bench, the Carson Bench thing is a little bit on the good side because he is a corner outfielder. So at least they're having him play his natural position.
Yo, are you really gonna tell me that the Mets offseason is going to the biggest move is gonna be Semien and Robert?
You'll see. Watch.
Yo,
You'll
I'm
see.
not buying
Prove me wrong,
one
Stearns.
ticket. I'm not. That's the Titanic.
I'm gonna
When
text.
this dude breaks his foot April 3rd, don't tell me nothing. Like, I'm just gonna be like,
AP, just to be a
Tell
hater,
you,
I'm
man.
texting
oh
you.
my God, we cannot be doing this. Don't
The
put
first-
that in the do not put that shit in the universe, man. So I don't even want to say names. Let's start with
I'm
R
telling you.
now.
We go back to this episode if it
telling you,
happens.
Oh
It's-
my God.
It's better you put your mind to that space because when it happens, you're gonna be like, "Well, I told you so."
No, I'm gonna blame you for putting this energy out there. You have brought this evil to my front door.
I'm sorry, but Stearns got me that way. He made me
Oh
think
my
like
God.
that, bro.
All right, just end this shit because I'm over it. I'm over this shit right now. If that is our offensive moves, yo, let us all start rooting for another team. Or let's all start watching, I don't know, air hockey. Maybe we could watch air hockey or table tennis.
Yo, Chris literally got AP on a fucking.
I don't want to talk baseball no more.
Yo,
have a good night.
Prepare yourselves.
Have a good night, everyone. This has been horrible.
You know what?
I don't want to talk.
We were just on a good vibe.
Let's all right. Let me bring it down a little bit more.
That's what we settle for. I'm not. Robert is. Oh God, no. I don't. Yo, I mean, if we're talking about, and Pope, I am lying down. I'm not even disputing it. I'm lying down because I'm putting my daughter to sleep. But I've got to tell you, if Robert is the only move that we make to improve this outfield, Jesus Christ, that's awful. Oh my God.
Stearns is, he needs to be run out of here if that happens. But let me tell you now, realistically, I was just messing with you. I just want to see AP go crazy. But
I was about to throw this damn this computer out the window.
In reality, other than big name hunting, there is reports here. I know people don't want to believe it, but there is reports that Boston's trying to trade Duran or Brave. Now that
I don't know what Duran is, to be honest with you.
Not a bad pickup. He does cover a lot of center field, but he does strike out a lot. So y'all gotta be on the, that's a lefty that strikes out a lot. So.
Who doesn't strike out a lot?
No. Right. I understand that, but you know how we get with players that are swing and misses. And so I'm just saying, keep that in mind.
Brandon Nimmo was striking out every time you look at him. He was already striking out.
You just knew. You look at him, you're like, oh, he's done. Listen, yeah.
All I'm saying is that we shouldn't be thinking about the long-term guys. We should think about a trade that's going to be a guy that's in control in the outfield that has like 1 or 2 years left or 3 tops. That's what we have to be looking at.
The funny thing is, if you're talking about him, right, to me, he's kind of Nimmo adjacent. He has similar kind of numbers offensively.
In a way,
and he's younger. And he's younger and has no plans.
He's younger, but he's a better defender. Right, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. So,
I mean, if we did make that move, I wouldn't be mad at that. I'd much rather do that than bringing back Shatterglass Robert. Like, I'd rather anybody but that. Like, at this point, I would put I would put Jeff McNeil back out in center field and be like, "Yo, have a blast!" Like, I
swear to God, if that happens, AP is blocking your number, Chris.
Yo, I am becoming
prepare for it. It's
a Syracuse Mets fan because I'm done with the
If that shit happens, I'm gonna text AP.
Don't call me. Don't call me. Don't call me.
You know
do not call me. It's gonna be like, when you die. When you're like flatlining and they're like, we did not resuscitate because he said no, just don't. Just let me
Just don't-
flatline and leave me alone.
That,
Because I'm
that
not
glass ball
coming back to
emoji.
this shit no more.
Yo, I'm gonna
The-
spam you with
the
that
Twitter
glass,
shit.
the glass emoji.
I am
all day.
blaming.
I'm
I'm
gonna spam
blaming you. I want
Oh,
everybody to
man.
put this on any social media that you have. That Chris is putting it out there that the Mets are gonna get Robert, and that's gonna be the biggest
gonna
move
happen,
that they
watch.
do. And
Oh, man.
I will burn. I will burn every
Well,
little bit of my Mets shit
listen,
into
if
dust. I will not.
all I
support
know
it.
is that it would be a
And you know what
fun.
the best part about it? The best part about that trade? That Met fans will still shake their ass for it. That's the best part
What?
about
That-
it.
Who's gonna do that?
No,
Who's gonna do that?
let him have 1 month of success, and I swear to God, somebody is gonna be like, "Yep, David
1 month
Stearns
of
outsmarted
success.
everybody."
No,
That's
I know
gonna be the
one
month
guy.
before he breaks his neck.
Yo,
I know
AP,
one
you go
guy
to bed,
that's
bro.
gonna
Go to
be
bed. Go to bed, bro. Yo,
Luis
nah.
Robert, loco, Robert.
So the dude hit 223, 14 home runs, 53 RBIs.
Right up Stearns Alley. Right up Stearns
That's
Alley.
right up his
That's
Stearns
right
alley,
there with
son.
it.
Yo,
Right
that's
up
in
his
his
alley,
calling
bro.
card. That's
The
literally
year
on his
before
calling
that,
card, bro.
he hit the same amount of home runs and 35 RBIs.
Yeah.
That's up his
That's
alley,
Stearns
bro.
Alley, baby.
Dude,
Stearns
Yo, I'm
Alley,
done.
baby.
Yo,
I'm done. All right, could we just wrap this shit up? Peace out. You can't even see me no more. The lights are all gone. Goodbye. Good night.
Oh,
God
man.
bless.
oh man,
I'm
listen,
literally leaving.
listen.
I'm not even waiting for y'all.
I
Goodbye. Goodbye.
All right,
I'm
Johnson.
done.
All right, John Cena.
Oh, man.
Listen, appreciate everybody tuning in, man. We, like we said, without y'all, this wouldn't be possible. We love having these type of conversations, man. What would the off season be without having these type of conversations? I will say this though, I would definitely love to be in that room with David Stearns, because after him doing that,
That Luis Robert
Shit,
breaking
shit.
news to the Mets is gonna hit like crack. Nigga, he feel
He's going, son. Yo, man, but we appreciate y'all.
Oh,
AP,
man.
Chris, man, I appreciate y'all fellas, man. Everybody have a good night. Make sure y'all like, follow, share, and subscribe to the 7 Express podcast channel. Make sure y'all like, share, and just, load up this video, man. Send it to all your other baseball fans, man. Baseball conversations, especially around this time, man, when there's no baseball going on, unless you
fun.
are a fan of the Lee Dome where Aguilar is taking over, then you talking about some real shit. But if y'all not watching that, then make sure you keep the conversations going, because David Stearns got a lot of work to do, and this Brandon Nimmo thing just got us started. There's a lot more where that came from, but shout out to Aguilar, man. We taking the chip back. Fuck we say. But with that being said, we appreciate y'all, man. Make sure y'all follow us at the 7 Express podcast, and we will catch you guys on the next video. Peace out.
This is SNY's Gary Cohen, and this train ride is over. This is the last stop on the train. Please exit onto the platform. Thank you for riding with us.
AP, you